regardless of where you are at in life, life is going to throw these curveballs at you, these little bends in your path that make you feel like you have no control. And life does not discriminate, right? That's the beautiful thing. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, Chinese, what other races are there? Mexican. Doesn't matter if you're fat. Doesn't matter if you're skinny. Doesn't matter if you have the girlfriend. Doesn't matter if you're single. Doesn't matter if you have dope friends that you're partying with, or doesn't matter if you have dope friends that you're hitting the gym with, or if you have bum friends. None of that external shit matters. Life is always going to throw these curveballs at you that make you feel like you are out of control. And in my life specifically, I've noticed this, and you are noticed this in your life as well. And in this video, essentially, I'm going to teach you how you can take back control in your life internally, and in turn that will reflect externally, right? And first I want to say, what does life feeling outside of your control feel like, right? Life feeling outside of your control feels like everything going the wrong way, like nothing is clicking for you, like you feel stuck, like you feel this, that, the other. And essentially that's all just an outward reflection of the identity and the self-image that you have of yourself, right? And this is essentially just an action for you to take back control. Now, I want you to understand here that it's not about controlling external conditions, right? Because that's essentially the first thing that you're probably resorting to is to, okay, how can I control this person? Or how can I control to keep this job or keep this, that, the other, right? That's external things that are outside of your control. And again, when I say this, I'm not just talking out of my ass. This is a multifaceted conversation that I'm having from multi sources, experiences, and different perspectives, right? From logical, from business, from sports, from physical health, from relationships to spiritual shit. I think I mentioned spiritual, to universal, quantum, like whatever the fuck, right? So essentially there's some truth to it between all the books that I've read here and this, that, the other that I'm talking. Essentially, when you go out there and you feel like you're losing control or everything is out of your control, and you try to focus on the things outside of your control, you're essentially adding more fuel to that flame, or more fuel to that fire, and creating more problems in your life, because you're essentially going to feel helpless if your life feels like it's going out of control and you are at the mercy of things and feeling safe within things that are outside of your control, which is then going to reaffirm that everything is out of your control, and you have control over nothing, and your life is all over the place, which is just going to dig you down a deeper hole. This is essentially like a big theme that I'm noticing in my life right now, is that anytime, and you can relate to this as well, right? You've had these moments in your life where it feels like everything's clicking, like everything's good. You're walking outside, doesn't matter what you're doing. You're wearing something fly, even if you're not wearing something fly. You just feel like it's fly. People are coming up to you. Your magnetic opportunities coming with ease. All that, right? You have all of these things. You feel magnetic. You look good. This, that, the other. And even if you don't have the most aesthetic body yet, you still feel proud of yourself, this, that, the other. You have these dope moments where everything is magnetic, and then all of a sudden you see shit going left and right. Now you don't have those things, right? Essentially, let's get back to the root cause of this. How can you take back control of your life? First step is to be aware of that, and be aware of what is triggering you to feel like you are not in control of your life, or what has made you lose control. And I guarantee you it is probably because you gave your sense of security, your sense of self-worth, or your self-concept, or your safety, essentially, in something that is outside of yourself. We see people do this. You've probably done this if you're in a relationship. If you have a good job that you fear losing. Essentially, if you fear losing something outside of yourself, you're going to subconsciously do things to try to keep that, which make you forget the work that you originally did that allowed you to attract that. And here's where I'm going with this, right? How does this all tie back in to like taking back control of your life? One, like I said, be aware of what is triggering you to make you feel like you're not in control, or what is leaving. Second is that understand that external reality is just a direct reflection of our internal self-concepts, right? So, and I love talking about this shit, man. This shit fire, bro. I've tried talking about this business stuff. I don't, oh my God, I'm not one of these gurus, but I love talking about this because it's something I'm doing real time, and it's applicable. But to take back control of your life, and if reality is a mirror, what's as within, as without, as without, as within, we must understand that if it feels like everything, like we've lost control externally, it's because we've lost control of ourselves. Now, how do we take back control of ourselves, right? In order to get back in control of our lives, we must be in control of ourselves, because if we cannot control ourselves, how can we expect to control anything else? This is where we get back into the process. See, we have three things, right? The mind, the body, and the soul. So these are three things that when one of them is out of whack, or two of them is out of whack, life can feel chaotic. But the thing is that you can always find one point within these to calm the other ones down and build that reputation that flows in. So there's the mind, there's the body, and the soul. If your emotions and everything like that feel out of whack, right? Your soul and your body feels out of whack, you're reactive, you're jittery, you're this, that, the other, chances are you can use your mind to create thoughts that will help you feel calmer emotions and create a calmer body in the sense of self, right? So for example, if you're jittery, chances are you have anxiety, this, that, the other, and your emotions are all out of whack, you're feeling anxious, this, that, the other, chances are that you need to have command and control over the thoughts that you are allowing. You need to be the observer of them. You are either in control of your mind, or your mind is in control of you. You are in control of your soul, or your soul is in control of you. You are in control of your body, or your body is in control of you, right? Your bodily desires. This is what I mean by that, right? Picking up the fucking burger when you know you should be picking up just clean chicken or a protein shake or something like that. That's the body, your emotions. Being reactive and being angry, you know you should be calm, cool, collected. In your mind, worrying and thinking, living up here when you know that you should be observing, being here. You know what I mean? So that is essentially what I'm doing and what I'm noticing, how I'm taking control of my life again, is having command over my mind, my body, and my soul. And I've also noticed, because right now I've been in this phase of my life where I've kind of felt like I've been chasing for the past 2 years now. Yeah, almost 2 years now. And although I've achieved some like great highs, right? I made over 20 grand in a month. I've you know, sold like $1.8 million house. I've landed 6-figure roles. I've done a lot of these different things. I've shut it down to like my ideal physique and all these different things, and had a girlfriend and da 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 da. I got to travel to a bunch of places, right? Essentially what I've noticed is like these were all opportunities that would once come to me with fucking ease and flow. And it felt like I was always chasing something outside of myself within these past 2 years. That's why I did not feel complete, regardless of what the outside sees, right? But in the moments where I felt truly aligned, right? The moments that I felt truly aligned, where shit just comes to me with ease, the parties, the fun. I like to have a good time. You know what I mean? I'm gonna own that. I'm not gonna feel bad, no matter, regardless of what these gurus say. Of, oh, don't party, stay in. Nah, I think you should build the best life possible that allows you to have the freedom to live in the manner that you want to live. And me, I like to have a good time. I'm not saying I like to just go out and just be degenerate. No, I love to celebrate, and I love to build a life where I have things to celebrate, and I like to, so back to what I was trying to say. I got sidetracked here, but back to what I was trying to say is, when my desires, there's these moments in life where I live just magnetically, where the desires that I once thought, oh, you know what, I need to work hard, I need to get this job so I can get this outcome, and then I get this outcome, and then I'll feel at peace, and I'll feel aligned, and I'll feel good. Or like me knowing I love to like take care of my skin, dress fly, always look good, be neat, even if I'm just working at the crib or stayed up at the crib, I would create unnecessary middlemen, right? Like, oh, well, first I need to get this job first, and then I can be myself. Or I need to do this thing first, and then I can be myself. I need to do this or lose this much weight, and then I can allow a girlfriend to come into my life, or this, that, the other, right? Creating these unnecessary middlemen for myself. And that's usually when I'm chasing these outcomes. But when I'm being magnetic, in the magnetic version of myself, and naturally becoming the person that attracts those desires naturally, I realized that there's two different things. There's two different frequencies. There's two different, I guess, intentions, right? Behind what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. When I am feeling like I'm chasing, when I feel like I'm chasing, I feel like I'm like reaching as far as I can, but I'm never grasping what it is that I know is mine. Chasing, repelling, chasing it, pushing it away, right? That's usually the times in my life where I feel like everything is outside my control, nothing is going my way. And that's usually when I am focused on shifting the external rather than shifting the internal, because it's a mirror. I can't go in and, you know what I mean, like to a mirror and me be frowning and doing everything I can to change the person in the mirror and make them smile. But what I can do is smile, and ultimately that's going to be reflected in the mirror with ease, just like that. There's no unnecessary middleman, right? And in the moments in my life where I realize that I just smile, no unnecessary middlemen, I'm not controlling, I'm not trying to be controlling of the reflection, but I'm in control of the self. That's when the reflection then reflects that. And I naturally have what I want because I am the person who lives that life naturally. That's when I've usually had control over the mind, the body, and the soul. And soul control over myself while I'm talking to a girl, while I'm outside, while I'm in the gym, while I'm at a restaurant, this, that, the other. That's when I naturally become magnetic and I attract, because I have control over myself. I control my mind. I don't let my mind give me limiting beliefs, this, that, the other, of, oh, I need to do this because I need to chase the validation or otherwise that. No, I just say, yo, I know who I am. I know how, and when I do that internally, I'm also signifying to the world that I know my worth, I know my value, I know I'm good, and what's meant for me will come find me, and ultimately then the world reflects that. Then there's also like the body, right? Okay, have command over the body. There's some days when I don't want to get up. There's some days when I don't want to get up out of bed and I feel bad because there's this thought that's like making me feel sad or making me feel slow, right? But what I do have control over is the body. So I'm going to take that control, get my ass up, go to the gym, and ultimately I made this commitment and this promise with the self, and I have control of the self, of the body, of not eating the unhealthy foods and eating the healthy foods. And that then in turn builds that reputation with myself that then seeps into the mind and the soul. Or feelings and emotions, right? When I have the feelings and emotions, everything outside looks like there's no reason that I should be in a good mood, but bam, I'm gonna be like, you know what, nah, I'm in a good mood. I know even if there's a cloud covering the sun, I know the sun's still there, I'm gonna be in a good fucking mood, right? And that good mood then works as fuel for me to go to the gym and have more positive thoughts, right? Easy money. You get what I'm saying? So control the self, and therefore, actually, no. Control yourself and you'll have a better chance of controlling reality, right? And ultimately, you won't need to control reality because it will just bend to your will. It will understand what it is that you are putting out there because you are being who you say you are. And who you say you are lives the life that you say you want to live, which ultimately attracts the outcomes that you want to live in, right? Now, when we get to there, right, we got to talk about being detached, because being attached is what ultimately got us in this situation in the first place, because we are attached to certain outcomes, right? We need to be detached because attachment is essentially what got you in this mess in the first place, where you feel like it is outside of your control. Because when you attach yourself to something outside of your control, you're at the mercy, your happiness and your internal peace is at the mercy of something outside of your control, which you will never be happy. It's essentially like a bird. If a bird gets up on a branch and it puts its trust on the branch, it will forget that it has wings and it will fall with the branch. It will both lose the branch and it will lose its confidence in itself to use its fucking wings to get up to another branch, until the bird hits the floor, stops looking around, starts looking within, realizes it has fucking wings, and flies onto the next branch. That's why you got to be detached. Because it's not about the branch, it's about your wings and your confidence in your wings, right? Your wings being your mind, body, and your soul, and the branch being the reflections of that in reality. So be detached. Start to, if you want to take back control of your life, take back control of the self and watch how life adjusts Because ultimately I've noticed this in my life. I've had these periods, and I've realized that these past 2 years I've been trying to change the outcomes, right? I've been running around like a chicken with my head cut off. Now obviously there's been these moments, I'm still him, where I've definitely upped my beliefs on how much I can make and this, that, the other, and what I can do and this, that, the other. But ultimately I come back to the self, and I realize that these outcomes that I'm striving for are actually just remnants of like 1% of the actual outcomes that I could achieve naturally by being the person who achieves them naturally. And that person is the version of myself who is in command of myself and who is open to spontaneity and is fully present, right? Because there are going to be some times where you need to be spontaneous and leave some room for spontaneity. And that's going to lead to these leaps that you will never have. For example, summer 2022, I was being recruited by Ogilvy, ultimately did not get the role, but because I did not get that role, I made a connection with this one VP of a very Fortune 100 company, and I sent my resume in there. I got eyes looked at, and I was getting recruited, and ultimately I didn't take that role either, even though I got it offered twice. But that's not a vanity thing. It just wasn't in alignment. And I got to go to London that summer from feeling lost, and that was a spontaneous trip with the family, and that opened my eyes up to who I truly can be, and that motivated me to go into sales and make a lot of money and and watch Suits and get into that Harvey Specter lifestyle, which essentially brought my persona up to a little bit. And my persona is this way. My career path, I still love to do marketing and branding. It's funny how I'm falling back into it because it's who, not how. But ultimately, like what I'm saying is essentially there are all these quantum leaps that I've had, and these moments where I feel like reality just bends to my will. Life, everything clicks for me, whatever you want to call it, flow state, this, that, the other, magnetism, charisma, whatever. It's all been when I've had control of the self, and that's ultimately every time and every rep that I put into controlling myself and having control over myself, I essentially build out a positive force in the world where things, angels, whatever the fuck we want to call them, right? Energy, they're essentially doing the work for me, right? It's this compounding effect. You're either paying interest or you're getting paid it, right? So ultimately the actions and the self-control that you have is what allows you to decide whether you're getting paid interest or if you're paying it. And that all, again, reflects back to having control of the self. Even with money, right? Money is just energy. Now that I'm noticing, if you want to get paid interest for your money, you need to invest your money in the opportunities that allow you to get paid interest. Or if you're spending your money on things that make you pay interest, right, such as using a credit card to buy shit that you don't have the money for and then paying it off and this, that, the other, you're essentially going to be paying interest. So life works the same way. Whatever analogy you want to use, essentially, I've kind of been spiraling upwards in this vertical of like to learn this, and I've learned it from different perspectives, but it's essentially that, man. Learn to take control of your mind, your body, and your soul, and use one to get to the other, and just watch how reality, life reflects that. And I've been 2 years, right, where I've been kind of chasing and doing everything I can, doing it right. And I know I'm a harder worker like than a lot of my friends in this, that, the other, but ultimately I'll get the result or I'll lose it. Whereas now, just in these 2 days, I've been conscious of my mind, the thoughts that I'm telling myself, the emotions that I'm allowing myself to feel, where those come from, and the actions that I'm taking despite the thoughts and the actions and the emotions that I feel. And I've just been seeing reality click for me. I'll hear the right message that I need to hear to confirm what I already know, to confirm what I've already confirmed inside about myself. And I'm just attracting these different things, these opportunities, and this, that, the other, being unshakable by what's out there and being completely anchored in what's in here because I have control of the self. And that's how you can take back control of your life. Anyways, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, drop a comment, and I will see you in the next one.